At Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe in spiritual living. Above all else, it is a philosophy that teaches us how to think and not what to think. We invite everyone to practice this philosophy by living in principle. We believe that God is all there is, and each person's relationship to God is a personal one. Every person, place, and thing, and all the space in between is not only an expression of God, but God itself. All love, peace, and beauty that is God exists within each person right now. Together we are all connected as one. Our faith allows us to apply this philosophy to our lives in every moment of every day. As we live in love, we see love revealed and flowing through the world around us. We act as citizens of this spiritual community at all times. This is how we think. We believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in you because we believe in spiritual living. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. We're so glad that you are here. And we welcome all those people online also. So please know that we know you're here and we love you. I'd like to begin by saying, not everybody knows everybody. And let's do something different. Why don't we stand up and say hello. Walk around and say hello to somebody you don't know or somebody you haven't seen in a while. Just be sociable.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time.
And now, thank you for taking your places.
Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here.
Thank you for taking your places.
Get the message loud and clear, my soul.
That felt pretty good, I'll bet. I saw all of you visiting, talking, and enjoying. Good. And for the first time guests today, we welcome you. And right back there on that table, we have a welcome packet. So if you're interested in knowing more about us, there's a welcome packet back there for you. And after service, we have fellowship and a meal in Carter Hall right back here. So please stay and join us and meet us, okay? If you'll take a minute and silence your cell phone, and I did it. Oh, and Donna is looking at me, and she sent me a note that says, when we have fellowship today, we're having a party. She and Bill have been blissfully married for the last 40 years, so we have a little bubbly in order to celebrate for that. Thank you. Enough for everyone. So if you'll take a look at the vision statement and say it with me, please. CSLB is an inclusive and informative community of spiritual practice. We have our opening song.
I say yeah.
Am I
strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You are the place.
moves and breathes and has
We are the
I am
place
the place
where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You are the place.
breathes and has
We are the place
I am the place
where God shows up. I want you to clap your hands and sing it with me. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Eddie Watkins, can I have some more of that? Can we have some more of that? A little more?
And I have some announcements to make. Zoom is being phased out. Most of you know that for our online services. So please switch to YouTube. The link is sent out via text message every Sunday morning, and it's 1 hour before you get here, so that you have to just hit on the link and it'll show up. So thank you. The Good Grief class, well, it's not a class, it's a support group, and it meets in the sanctuary here every week on Thursdays from 1 to 2:30. And grief is more than just loss of a loved one, and we can't do it alone. So if you need a community, if you need somebody to talk to, and just share some of your feelings, come to that. It's open and it is very helpful. The next thing I want to talk about is the Joel Goldstein book discussion. And we're going to start it on the 27th. Reverend almost Neil Henner. It's going to be at my house in Sun Lakes, and it's going to be on Thursdays from 4 to 5:30. And his intent is to just read the book and do a discussion, right?
Yeah, so no homework. We're just going to start with page 1, paragraph 1, and we're going to read until somebody has something they want to talk about, and then we're going to talk about it. And when we're done talking about it, we go back to reading. So it'll be a good, relaxing, educational time for everybody. But you got to RSVP because somebody has some pretty strict security. So make sure you let us know we're coming.
Yeah. And the other thing is that it's going to be ongoing until nobody shows, but it's just to discuss the book and learn more about it for ourselves. Okay? And then Christmas in July. Well, that's a concert that is going to be brought to us by the Palm Springs Gay Men's Choir, and it will be at 5:30 to 7 p.m. and on the 27th, which is a Sunday. The tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at a door. And what we're encouraging you to do is to buy a table. We're going to set it up as tables with like 8 at a table. And what we want to do is have our members fill the church with themselves, their friends, or whoever. So please think about that and then sign up. So it's like $120 for the table of 8. And that's about $15 for each if you do it that way, $20 otherwise, and $25 at the door. But let's fill this place. I understand they're fabulous, fabulous. So let's do that. Okay?
Pun intended.
The next thing that I see is the CSLB Rainbow Alliance presentation, and that's Esteemable Acts Seminar with attorney Francine Warren, and that's going to be August 4th. All are welcome, and it'll be a love offering of $15. So there's some information back there on the table to remind you. We want to make sure you stay after service as we have a fellowship and a party and some bubbly. Okay. Well, I'm Evonne Fowler, and I am the practitioner here today. And over here on this side of the sanctuary, the other practitioners will be with me. If you have anything on your heart and want to talk about it or just get a prayer for it, please come over there and we'll be glad to share with you that 2-minute miracle, okay?
As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me.
You take a deep breath and center yourself. Become still. And know that in this very moment, right here and right now, we are gathered together in our spiritual home to receive our spiritual sustenance. I recognize that God, that Spirit, that the presence and the power of light is within these walls, within each one of us, right here and right now. God is all there is. God is everywhere present. God is our guiding light, our source. We are one with God, I know that without a doubt. And in this unity, I know and trust that Spirit's presence fills this room with peace and love and joy and harmony and grace. I bless the congregation, in person and on Zoom, who share the energy and consciousness with us. I bless the media techs for their service unfolds with ease and grace, and for the musicians whose voices and words enhance our service. About that last in a prayer, surrender and be open and love. I bless Neil, as he's the one that is the vessel through which Spirit sends this message, and knowing it's something for each one of us to hear. I let this be, and so it is, and so it is. I'd like to do one more thing before Neil comes up and talks about his topic, which is resistance versus persistence. And that is, Emmy, will you come up? We have a special thank you that we want to give.
Is there something written or just? Do you want me to introduce who's giving us a present? John Serta, please come up. John is giving us a gift on behalf of his late wife, Rebecca McCormick Serta. Do you have something you wanted to read?
No, I just want to say.
Here, say it to the microphone.
I just want to say on the request of my deceased wife, Rebecca, it is my pleasure to donate this check of $100,000. It is my pleasure. It is my request to have $10,000 given to MOP and $20,000 given to the music fund. And I'm sure.
Oh, wait, move over so she can get the picture. We're not behind the podium. Debbie, you want to get a picture of this, too? Thank you.
There you are. It's in there. Don't drop it.
Oh, this is the money?
Yeah, it's the check. That's the check.
Try not to get
Thank
tacky
you.
by Dorothy on the way down. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that is a powerful gift and a legacy, and I'm sure it will serve our spiritual community for years to come, and we're grateful. So, happy summer. I apologize in advance if I cough. I want you to know I'm not contagious. I have asthma. So my joy in the summer is air conditioning blowing in my face, which my lungs do not appreciate. So if I cough, I apologize. It's nothing that you need to worry about. It's just my privilege and honor to have asthma. So happy summer solstice. I haven't been up here in a while. Happy Juneteenth. Happy end of the summer, or beginning of the summer, end of the school year. I'm on vacation. I get to sleep in, right? No, still getting up at the same time. Anything I missed? Juneteenth, summer, solstice? Hot? I hear Lois is going to Alaska, so I'm pretty sure it's only like 80 degrees up there, so that'll be nice. So I heard this story about these two twin boys, and they were like 7, 8, and they were really well known for being just troublemakers. If there was something going on that shouldn't be going on, you knew that these twins were probably involved. And their mom had heard about this minister that was in town that was really good at talking to kids and getting them to be better behaved. And so she asked him to come and talk to her kids, and he said he would, but he wanted to speak to them individually. So he asked to see them, and he takes in one of the twins, he sits and he says, "Look, kiddo, where is God?" And the kid's just looking at him, gets this weird look on his face, his mouth is open, he's totally confused. And the minister starts getting a little frustrated. He's like, "Look, where's God?" And the kid's just looking at him with mouth open, he's totally bewildered. And the minister says, "I'm not going to ask you again, where's God?" And the kid screeches, runs out the door, runs to his house, and hides in his closet. And his twin brother finds him, and he says, "Oh, we've really stepped in, we're really in trouble now. God's missing," and they think we did it. So where's God for you this morning? Where's God? Recently, I've had this divine impulse to take on this new project that I have been guided and led to do, but something's really been holding me back. It's like one of those things where Spirit's saying, "Oh, you should go do this thing," and I'm saying, "Really? Do I have to? I don't want to." God says, "Yeah, you really need to go do this thing. It'll be good for you." "Do I have to? Are you sure?" Let me give some time to think about it. So, and I've had several conversations this month, and the recurring theme that I've had in these conversations is persistence and resistance. I saw online recently, I have this coffee cup that I just have to have for my birthday, and it says, "Careful or you'll end up in one of my sermons." It's too true. But these conversations with my friends and have come up recently have got me thinking about this idea of resistance and persistence. How do we know when we should surrender and go with the flow, or when we should stand our ground and declare what we want in life? Have you ever noticed that sometimes we get kind of a mixed message? Sometimes we get told, "Oh, you want to know what you want. You want to have the details. You want to claim you're good. You want to know exactly what you want and be persistent until you get it." And then sometimes we're told, "Oh, just relax. God will take care of it. Just go with the flow. It's all good." Kind of seems like a mixed message. So my talk title today is Resistance versus Persistence. I was going to go with a Star Trek reference, resistance is futile, but I didn't know how many Star Trek fans are out there. So let's look at this idea of resistance. I have 3 kinds of resistance. 3 kinds of resistance that I could think of. The first one kind of goes with that saying, "What we resist persists." Have you ever heard that? What we resist persists. We have this idea that when we resist change or something that's uncomfortable or undesirable in our life, that we're making it real, we're giving it energy. Have you heard this? That you're giving it power if you acknowledge it. So I call this the ignore strategy. Because the way that we resist is by not looking at it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to admit it. We don't want to look at it. Because we don't want to make it real. And so we try really hard not to look at the thing. So that's the ignore strategy. That's one way that we resist life. The second way is when life is going along fine, and then something changes. Oh, that 4-letter word, change. This is more of like an external change. Something changes. We plant our feet and we demand that life stay the same. Why do things always have to change? It wasn't broken. Why did they have to change it? But that's the way we've always done it. It was working fine. Why does things have to change? So we'll call this the complain strategy, right? We start complaining. I don't want things to change. We're resisting newness. We're resisting change. The third way is when this is more of an internal thing. It's kind of like where I was at, is that when we feel led and called or inspired to do something different, and it might be, get a new job or go back to school or move or learn a new art, to do something different. And we start saying to ourselves, oh, I'm too old to learn new things. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have blah, 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 blah. Right? This is the excuse strategy. We resist life by coming up with lots and lots of excuses about why we can't do the thing that we feel like we need to do. This is resistance. We ignore it, we complain about it, and we make excuses about it. This is how we resist life. But in our science of mind philosophy, I can say that word, we know that behind our words and our thoughts are these beliefs. And those beliefs form our consciousness. That's a word that we use a lot. What does it mean? I like to think of our consciousness as sort of a bubble that's all around us. It's our force field that's all around us. And it lets certain things in, and it pushes other things away based on our beliefs. It's permeable. If I say that I believe in this, it's going to let those things in. If I don't believe it, it's going to push it away. That's our consciousness force field. So we have those three types of resistance. We have the ignoring, we have the complaining, we have the making excuses. Anybody recognize themselves in there? But if we're talking about our science of mind philosophy, we know that there's thoughts and beliefs behind that resistance. So what are those thoughts and beliefs? Let's look at the first one, the ignore strategy. If we don't look at something, then it's not real. We don't give it power. Except, we know the condition's still there, otherwise we wouldn't be ignoring it. So I agree that we shouldn't dwell on conditions. We shouldn't give our energy away to something that's not serving us. I always say, you should rent it, not own it. That means that we don't have to identify with it, we don't have to claim it, we don't have to make it part of our identity. It doesn't have to be who we are. But at the same time, we can't change something that we're not willing to look at. You have to look at it in order to shift it and to change it. By not being willing to look at something, you're actually giving it power. If we're avoiding a situation or avoiding looking at something that needs to change, we're still giving our power, we're still giving our volition, we're still giving our choice away. We are reacting by not reacting. We're choosing by not choosing, but we're still making a choice. This is disempowering. It's still giving your power away. If it's something that it is still something that is happening to us, but we're just trying not to acknowledge it or looking at it. Ernest Holmes said, "I don't feel like we have to even deny an experience. You certainly do not have to deny fact to affirm a faith." This is one of my new favorite Ernest Holmes quotes. You don't have to deny a fact to affirm a faith. So what's the belief behind this ignore strategy? It's still fear. If I don't deal with this condition or situation, I might make it worse if I try to deal with it. Or I'm not capable of dealing with this, so I'll just ignore it. For me, That happened when I lived in Las Vegas and I was newly graduated from college, and they started expecting me to pay student loan debt. And I was a first-year teacher in the middle of Las Vegas. I had this like crushing feeling of student loan debt, right? I thought I couldn't pay it, and so I started ignoring them. They would blow up my phone 20 times a day, send me letters, phone calls. And I went like this, la 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 la, right? Was that empowering? That was still disempowering. I was still giving my power away. Only I was using all of that energy to ignore the thing I wasn't dealing with. Turned out, when I stopped ignoring it and dealt with it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, right? But I had built it up in my mind to a point where it was taking my energy away. So let's look at that second strategy, the complaint strategy. This is a little bit easier to see, right? If we're complaining about something, where is our energy going? If we're resisting the change around us, we're putting our energy into pushing back. We're finding someone else to blame. We're putting our energy into complaining. But it's still happening to us. We're still victims. It's still happening to me. The power's out there, and it's doing something to me. So I'm going to complain about it. There's an old Hebrew proverb that says, change takes but an instant. It's the resistance to change that can take a lifetime. Oh, you guys know that one, huh? Sometimes we spend more time resisting the change than just doing it. This kind of reminds me of my fourth graders. Sometimes I tell them, you spend more energy trying to get out of doing your assignments than it would take just to do the assignment. Just do it. But what's the belief behind this strategy? It's if I can't change what is happening, I'm powerless in this situation. When we're complaining, we're saying, I'm powerless. It's happening to me. I'm a victim. There's nothing I can do about this situation. But that's not true, is it? We control our attitude. We control our actions. We choose what to focus on and what to let into our bubble of consciousness. I fall into this trap all the time at work. It's an easy slip and slide to get into this at work. The district is making us do this. The principal is changing that. The kids are crazy. Complain, complain, complain. But the truth is, if I find something positive to focus on, I realize I'm still doing some good, even in the midst of all the challenges. I have to remember that I am never powerless. You are never powerless. I have to remember that my attitude determines my altitude. A lot of this resistance comes when we're thinking small. We're focused on the details of our day. We think in small terms. We think that we're not making a difference. It helps if we take a step back and look at the larger picture. We take a larger perspective. This thing might be really annoying, but in the grand scope of things, it's good. But if I focus on that one thing that's annoying me, I'm giving that little thing all of my energy instead of focusing on the big picture and what is really going on. So if the situation's not going to change, then the thing that needs to change is me. If the situation's not going to change, then the thing that needs to change is me. This is where our spiritual practice of prayer comes in. Prayer doesn't change the world. It doesn't change the person who's annoying you. It doesn't convince God to do something that God wouldn't do otherwise. What it does do is it changes us. It doesn't change the world. It changes us. It changes our perspective, our focus, and reminds us to go back to source, to spirit, and focus on that rather than the situation. There is a lot going on in our world. Have you noticed? And it's easy to be in anger and fear and frustration. But we don't have to use that as an excuse to not live our best life. I have this new sweatshirt that says, if it costs you your peace, it is too expensive. I had a practitioner teacher who was really fond of saying, what needs to shift in you for you to have peace about the situation? What needs to shift in you for you to have peace about the situation? We only control what's in here. So if something needs to shift and something needs to change, and it's too big for me to change on my own, then the thing that needs to change is me. Anne Elizabeth, excuse me, Anne Elizabeth, an American novelist, said, "There is so much happening in our world right now. I hope you are finding your place and understanding your purpose in it all. I hope you are weathering the bumps and bruises. But most of all, I hope you keep moving forward and finding the positive place that you can thrive in." Hopefully, this place is a place like that. She goes on to say, maybe that's what riding it until the wheels fall off means. You keep going, find your peace, even when the ride isn't smooth. Find joy in the place you are when the wheels fall off. The last strategy that we talked about for resisting life is the excuse strategy. We feel called to do something different, to live a bigger life, to open up to a bigger idea, to be inspired. But we keep pushing it away, we keep delaying it, we keep backing up. But again, empowering or disempowering? Disempowering. The excuses are out there and in here. We give our power away to the excuses. It's the economy. I just don't have time. I'm not talented enough. I'm too old to learn new things. Whatever the excuse is, when you make that excuse, you're giving your power away. Now, does that mean you can't choose and say, you know what, that's not really for me? No, you can make a choice, or you can make an excuse. Choices are empowering. Excuses are disempowering. This is how we sometimes even refuse to let good into our life. Someone offers to buy us lunch, and we say, oh, no, I got it. I couldn't possibly. What is the belief behind this strategy? It's usually, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And so I'm going to make some excuses instead. But again, not true. We trust that the same power that's inspiring us with the idea, that divine intelligence that is trying to express itself through us, is the same power that's going to help us get there. That's going to give us all that we need. So those are the excuse me. Those are the three ways that we use resistance in our life. When we resist life, we block the good that's trying to come into our life. So what do all these strategies have in common? All these ways that we block our good? Two things. One, we've already talked about. When we practice this resistance, we are disempowering ourselves. The second is we think that we're protecting ourselves, but really, we're disempowering ourselves. And the other thing is, from a more mystical or spiritual perspective, is that we are deep in duality. Deep in doo-doo. No, deep in duality. When we're resisting, it's us versus them. It's the condition versus me. It's the situation versus me. It's a conflict that I'm having. But you can only have a conflict if you're coming from a place of dualism. It's me versus my past. It's me versus my parents. It's me versus my health. It's me versus whatever the situation is. You're coming from a place of the world versus me. If only the world would be different. Especially when we're having a conflict with somebody else. Ernest Holmes, in Living the Science of Mind, said, if we do not merge with others in cooperation and unity and in happiness, we may be certain there is something in us that still feels it has been rebuffed. Here is where the adjustment has to be made. What we must do is see that we ourselves are adjusted to others. The only person we control is ourselves. We neither wish to dominate them nor wish them to dominate us. We wish to get along with them happily. They have opinions that are different from ours. We must be flexible enough to recognize that their opinions are right for them, even if they do not fit into our scheme. This is what Jesus called non-resistance. When he spoke of non-resistance, he did not mean that we must agree with every person's opinion. He meant exactly what he said. Do not resist it. Let it alone. Do not try to dominate them. If we do not resist it, it will depart from us. It will not disturb us. We can get over this idea of trying to control other people's thoughts or actions and still live with them in happy relationships. We shall be on the road to readjustment. And above everything else, if we can trace our own origin back to its original source, which is God, and do the same for everyone else, we shall find that we are getting along with others. That was Ernest Holmes. Okay, so I can hear you thinking out there, because I'm psychic like that. And I can hear you thinking, oh, but Neil, you don't know my thing. If you knew what my thing was, you would know differently. And so to that I say, stop it. Stop giving your power away. I can 100% guarantee one thing. Whatever is up for you, whatever is going on, it happens either now or in the past. There is one thing that you can change and control. That is you, your attitude, your consciousness, your awareness. How you're looking at it, what you choose to focus on, how you are adding or contributing to the situation. Nothing that you are experiencing or avoiding or resistance can be dealt with at the level of the problem or the level of the consciousness that created it. There's not a problem that can be solved living at that same energetic level, that same conscious level that created the problem. We have to transcend. We have to transmute. We have to get above the condition. So my invitation for you today is to change your resistance into persistence. Persistence is when we stand up and we refuse to sink down to the level of effect. We refuse to sink down to the level of the problem, the level of the consciousness that created the situation. We take 100% responsibility for our experience. And we move from that to me stage, it's happening to me, to it's happening for me. Just that simple shift. This is not something that is happening to me. It is something that is happening for me. This is the place. This place of persistence is where we, in the spirit of Emma Curtis Hopkins, say, this too is good, this too is God, this too is for me, and I demand to see my good. So how do you know whether you're in resistance or persistence? Resistance comes from a sense of dualism. Persistence comes from oneness. I am determined to see good in this person. They are a reflection of the divine. I have faith that in this situation, something good is going to be the result. I know that God is here too, and there is a perfect pattern that is working itself out for me. I'm going to trust my GPS, my God positioning system, and know that it's leading me to good and to more good. We shift from the to me to the for me. That is coming from a place of oneness. When we're in resistance, we're limiting possibilities. That's not possible. We can't do that. I can't do that. There's no way this is going to work out. I can't possibly do that thing. We're closed. When we're in persistence, we're not backing away from the idea that we live in a world of infinite possibility. And there is a divine pattern. And if I'm open to it, and I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to grow, I'm willing to listen, then instead of having that closed energy, I am open. That's persistence. The second way we move from resistance to persistence is that resistance is usually about living in the past. But if we can look forward, that's persistence. We know it's going to work out. We're projecting into the future. I know that if I stick with it and I'm determined to prove my principle, Ernest Holmes says we should be determined to prove our principle. Notice I said prove the principle, not prove I'm right. One is a spiritual principle, one is ego. When I'm determined to prove a principle, then I'm not attached to the small details about how things show up. I don't feel like I have to control everything. If I'm focused on love and balance and wisdom and freedom and creative intelligence, then the details about how those things show up doesn't matter. Because I already know that they're there. And whether it shows up like this or it shows up like that, I'm willing to see them. I'm open to that possibility. Have you ever noticed that an iceberg can sink a ship, but the sun can melt an iceberg? An iceberg can sink a ship, but the sun can melt an iceberg. Why is that? Because when we resist and try to force things, we try to get our own way, then the effect of physics comes in. For every action, there is a reaction. For every force, there is an equal force. And it's us versus them. And we are stuck in that realm of duality. But light is persistent. There's no opposite to light. Darkness is not a power, it's the absence of light. Light just shines its truth without effort, without struggle. It shines and melts away the iceberg. Water does the same thing. Water is the softest substance, but it has the power to wear away mountains because it is persistent. When we live in the flow and we are living in non-resistance and we accept the mountains that we cannot move, then we can find a way in and through and around them to reach an ocean of love and peace. So my invitation for you today and this week, and when you go back to get some food and you have some fellowship time, have some brave conversations. Where in your life are you resisting? What kind of resistance are you using? How can you shift perspectives, shift your point of view, change your beliefs, and shift to a place of persistence? When we give our resistance, when we give up our resistance, and are open to all the ways that life is showing up through us, and ask, how am I called to serve? How am I called to grow? Then we are open. And then we can answer that question, where is God? Spirit, love, and joy are all right here, waiting for you to notice them and accept them. Where is God? Right where you are. And so it is. I'm supposed to pray. I got so into my talk. Wow, I haven't done that in a while. All right. So we just settle into that place and space where we remember. We remember that there is only one power. We remember there is only one presence, one peace. one creative power, one creative intelligence that is beside, and living itself in and through and as everything. This one power that I call God might be called love, intelligence, spirits, the Tao, whatever name you want to give it. It is that power and presence which is behind everything, that is running everything, that is expressing itself as everything I see and everything I do not see. It is all this one energy of love and peace and joy. I know that I am one with this power, that I am living and breathing and having my being in that peace, in that love, in that joy. It is who and what I am, and it is who and what you are. Every fiber of your being is that light energy of love, that wise power of peace, that creative intelligence that knows everything because it is everything. That is the power that is running you right now, that is expressing itself as you in this moment. But it is our job to open to that, to be open to the possibility, to be open to that energy, to be open to that which is life is trying to express as you. And if you're still here, you're not done yet. You're not done expressing life, not done expressing love. You're not done expressing that purpose for which you came to this plane of existence to express. And so in this moment, I simply speak my word for each one of us and with everybody within the sound of my voice, knowing that there is nothing lacking, there is nothing wrong, there is no disease, there is no disorder where God is not present. And I know that if God is present, then it is working itself out for good. That everything that is on my heart and on my mind this morning is not happening to me, it is happening for me. And so I'm open to the gifts. I'm open to the growth. I'm open to the opportunity to be present in consciousness and in love and in life. As I grow, as I become, as I express more love, more peace, more joy, more abundance. And so I simply release this word into that infinite law that always says yes, the law that reflects back to me every belief, every claim that I place into it. And I give thanks in this moment and deep gratitude for this Center for Spiritual Living and this teaching and this awareness. And I simply say, and so it is.
I say yes to the goodness. I say yes to love. I say yes to abundance raining down from up above. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes to forgiveness. I say yes to God. I say yes to the moment bringing me such positive thoughts. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes. No to the darkness, no to the fear, no to the voices that scream about despair. I say yes to the glory, yes to the light, yes to the voices that sing out with light. They're saying yes, they're saying yes, they're saying yes. I say yes to surrender. I say yes to grace. I say yes to the beloved looking back at me when we're face to face. I say yes to acceptance. I say yes to faith. I say yes to the lessons I'm learning how to grow through all the pain. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes. No to the darkness, no to the fear, no to the voices that scream about despair. I say yes to the glory, yes to the light, yes a joyful world. All I wanna be is a happy girl. I just wanna live in a joyful world. All I wanna be is a happy girl. I just wanna be in a joyful world. All I wanna be is a happy girl. I just wanna live in a joyful world. All I wanna be is a happy girl. I just wanna live in a joyful world. All I wanna be is a happy happiness. I just wanna live in a joyful world. All I wanna be is a happy girl.
This is the voice of Spirit, inviting you to be an active participant in our spiritual community. So if you find value and growth and inspiration here at the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, I invite you to be an active participant and keep this community alive and thriving. If you are here in person, our lovely ushers are going to be coming forward. If you are online, you can go to cslbeaumont.org to contribute to the spiritual community. And if you have your cell phone, and that's the easiest way for you to communicate, you can text the word to give to 951-420-6909. So as we give this opportunity to give and receive freely, let's say our affirmation together. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
All right, so as we close out our service this morning, I want to thank you again for being here. We like to circle up around the sanctuary and hold hands, but if that is not your thing, it is okay. Please feel free to stay in your seats, and we will surround you with light and love from afar. The words to our closing song should be on the